Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Sunday afternoon video, right here, on the former home of the Guild Chronicles, now known as the evil and dark and scary Shadows Lair 2.0. This is episode number 82 of the Shadows Lair 2.0 series. Once again, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button in the Shadows Lair, down below in the gobbledygook, and subscribe to my other channels as well. Show your love and support. Leave a comment if you like. You don't have to, but if you want to, don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm and place in an Iron Maiden, and then Ozzy and Satan will eat your soul. So don't do that. What we can do is follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Most importantly, tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you're pretty much SOL. You know what that means, fuckers. If you don't know what it means, look it up. And that's pretty much it. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. Sit back, relax, grab a cold one, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, there's the door. Get out of here. And that's pretty much it. For all that good shit. And, yeah, pretty much it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, August the 31st, 2025. The final day of August. The dog days of August are pretty much over. Tomorrow, summer unofficially ends as we hit Labor Day. And then we're pretty much 2 weeks away from the official end of summer. So, we have that. All you people like go to school are going to be going back, especially here in the Northeast, going back on Wednesday. So, get your education because you want to be like half these people on YouTube that have no education, so, and act like complete douchebags. But it is what it is. I got 2 degrees, and I'm smarter than you, so it is what it is. But, no. Back to school for some of you, in a couple days. You know, hope you have a good school year, and if not, well, do better. Because you don't want to go to summer school. That's bad. And that's it. It would be left back and you miss, hey, I'm in the 8th grade. You're in the 7th. Fuck you. That's pretty much it. But we got that. We got baseball. Today, we got the Mets and the Marlins about to start on Channel 11. So, we got that. We got some wrestling coming up in about a little over 20 minutes. With WWE Clash in Paris. And we're getting ready for a big month and a half of pay-per-views every weekend. Next weekend, we don't have to worry about. The weekend after that, September the 12th, we got NXT AAA Worlds Collide 2. Electric Boogaloo in Vegas. And then that's going to be leading into AEW All Out Toronto, going head-to-head with WrestlePalooza from the main roster of WWE. And then after that, we got NXT No Mercy, and then October begins with Crown Jewel in Australia. We're gonna be waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch that shit. And then after that, Bound for Glory. We got Halloween Havoc from NXT, October the 25th, and then we got Wrestle Dream for AEW, October the what is that? I think it's October the 18th. That's Saturday before, the week before Halloween Havoc. Okay. So, we got all that. And moving on. I tried to get this video up a couple of times, and I've just been busy. And, my last video, Mrs. was out, and she called me saying, I'm coming back. So I'm like, oh, great. So I tried to finish it real quickly, it couldn't, and plus I had to majorly go to the bathroom. So I know that's too much information for you people, but yeah, I had to do a number 2, I had to drop a deuce in the bathroom, so. But by the time I finished, the missus came back, we were thinking about what we're going to eat for lunch, and I said, well, Clash of Paris is coming on, we'll just have a light lunch, and then we're going to go out later for dinner. So, yeah, so she's just hopping in the shower right now, so we got that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hope everybody has a great Sunday, a great Labor Day weekend, finishing it off tomorrow. Hopefully you have some good barbecues coming up today or tomorrow. Let's do it early tomorrow, because you don't want to do it at night, because that'll be bad. Because you'll be watching Monday Night Raw. Well, for you people that don't have a VPN, you get to watch Raw at 8 o'clock on Netflix. For me, I get to watch it at 2 p.m. tomorrow from Paris. So, we got that. But anyway, lots of videos coming later today. Check out my SmackDown review I did earlier yesterday basically. And later on, we're going to talk about Death Before Dishonor. We're going to talk about, we're going to do Clash of Paris review first when I come home from my festivities. Then, after that, before I go to bed, we do Death Before Dishonor on my Peter Joseph channels. My channel, I should say. And then, Monday, since I got nothing to do, we're going to talk about Collision and TNA. Get you ready for, we'll probably do that. We'll get you ready, we'll do TNA early. And then, get you ready, probably after Raw. We'll do Collision, and then later Monday night, do a Monday Night Raw review. So hopefully we'll be back, hopefully on a normal basis. So, I mean, because I'm pretty busy, you know, that's the way I am. So, I'm a busy guy, got lots of things to do. Had a big meeting this past Wednesday. I thought it went well. I mean, we'll see now. So, if I may be getting a change, I might be getting a big, huge raise, but then again, I don't know. I might not know for about a week or two, so. But I'm back at my job is going to back to the fall season, because it's not a seasonal job, it just changes my work schedule changes a little bit. So back to the fall schedule that I had last year, so it's the same thing. Same schedule as last year's, but as we go into the winter months, it gets a little bit hectic, because it's Christmas time and all that stuff. Then as we go into the new year, and then we get to February, it changes to the late winter, spring schedule, and not so hectic there, but we got that. So we're getting there. So just between now and the end of the year, a little bit busy. We have a lot of shit for work and events that I gotta go to. Especially coming up in November with a couple of events. Some big events. But we'll worry about that in a couple months. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. On episode 82 of the Shadow Slayer 2.0 series, it is time for another predictions video. And I've done pretty good on my predictions videos, except for Heatwave when I went 4-2 at Heatwave. I believe I went 8-1 at Forbidden Door. So we got that. So another predictions video. So let's get into it. It is time for your WWE Clash in my pants. No, Clash in Paris. Clash in Paris predictions. Clash in Paris comes your way in a little bit from the Palais de La Défense Arena in Nanterre, France. Vive la France! Alright. Big arena. The way it looks, I'm looking at a picture of this, it's huge. I don't know how many seats it holds. Let me actually see. Well, this is the first pay-per-view in France. That's pretty big for WWE purposes. And we don't know how much. It holds a lot. Let's just put it that way. Alright, so after this pay-per-view, our next pay-per-view will be NXT Worlds Collide with Triple A. That's September the 12th in Vegas, right after SmackDown. That's a big, huge pay-per-view. And then that leads us all into a long list, a long month and a half of pay-per-views pretty much every weekend. It's insane. So, get ready. If you're a content creator, you're going to have some fun with a lot of those pay-per-views, predictions, reviews, news going into the pay-per-view, coming out of the pay-per-view with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and TNA, and all the other good stuff. So it's a good time to be a content creator as we go into the end of the year. Look at that. All right, let's get into the card. We have 6 matches on the card. I thought we had 5. Originally we had 5. Now it's 6. So this pay-per-view should end. Begins at 2 p.m. Eastern here in my neck of the woods. So it should end about, I would say about 4:30, 5 o'clock, give or take. So you can have your lunch while watching the pay-per-view and then go to an early dinner or just hang out the rest of the night and then go to dinner and then come home and go to sleep. Because you don't have nothing to do tomorrow. So we got that. So it should be a great show. Let's get into it. Let's not wait any time. Alright, I'm going to pick and choose some of the matches. I'm taking this one on the Wikipedia page, as always. So we're going to start off with a tag team match player for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We got the Wyatt Six of Creepy Joe Gacy and even creepier Dexter Lumis, along with Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, and Nikki Cross at ringside. They're going to be taking on the former champions, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, with B-Fab at ringside for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Now, the SmackDown Tag Team division has just gone berserk. Pretty much since the Wyatt Six beat the Profits, I believe they beat the Profits to get the belts, and then they had that hellacious TLC match at SummerSlam, which we thought that was going to be a new chance, but somehow Gacy and Dexter Lumis retained the titles, and then, well, who's going to be the number 1 contenders? So we found that out this past Friday night, where the Street Profits beat Miz, and that's called Melo Hayes and The Miz. They beat them thanks to the Wyatts. So we got that. And don't forget, last night we had Bo Dallas out of his character, out of his Uncle Howdy character, and he looks just like Bray. The resemblance is just scary. But anyway, Bo Dallas goes up to goes up to Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, and basically says, after Sunday you might not be brothers anymore. Don't know what that was. Maybe some foreshadowing. Maybe they break up, or at the start of a possible breakup. I don't know. But should be a great match. I wouldn't be surprised that they give it back to the Profits, but I'm going to go with the Wyatt Six to retain and beat the Profits and continue roughshod over the SmackDown Tag Team division. I don't know who beats them at this point. It might be the Profits, it might be Fraxium. I don't know. We'll see. It is just discombobulated as it is. Better than the Raw Tag Team division. And the NXT Tag Team division, if you think about it. But, good competition with a lot of teams pretty much on a carousel going around, revolving around belts, basically. Alright, we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. Alright, so I got the Y6 to get the victory and retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Alright, then we go to the ladies, the only women's match on the card. For the Women's Intercontinental title, we have the man! Becky Lynch still owes Ozzy and his family an apology. I don't know if we're going to get that tomorrow on Raw, or maybe tonight, I don't know. So anyway, we got the man! Becky Lynch takes on the number 1 contender, one half of the Bella Sluts, and that's Nikki Slut Bella. I don't really like the feud. I don't even care for this match. Nikki got roasted a couple weeks ago by Becky. He's like, the whole thing with Becky, like, you can't see him anymore, dissing Cena, and basically saying her and Seth freaking Rollins, her hot American husband, are the greatest couple in WWE, but you forgot Randy and Liz. Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth were the original and best couple in all professional wrestling. But then, I might be just talking crazy. It might just me and Rosemary are the best too, but that's no story for a long time. Then this past week on Raw, Nikki basically roasted Becky in a way, basically telling her you're cheap, you're a cheat, and you're also another C word, which which she meant coward instead of cunt. And then, now Becky got all mad, and then they started a fight, which Nikki won the brawl. So we get to this match, which, like I said, I don't particularly give two fucks about. But for predictions purposes, I'm going to go with the man, Becky Lynch, to retain. I would hate to see Nikki Bella win on the account that Becky pretty much embarrassed the WWE with her Aussie line, which was not cleared by Kelly, Jack, or Sharon. So WWE has major egg on their face because they did so much for Aussie, and Aussie did so much for them. And then, Becky trying to play the mean heel in Birmingham, which is Aussie's hometown, just was the wrong time. Wrong time. If it was like 6 months down the road or a year later, then yeah, I could say, okay, let's go with that. I wouldn't be that particularly mad because it's a year ago. But Becky's line was a month ago since Aussie died over a month ago. So, yeah. So, not too fond of Becky right now. I don't think a lot of, Osborne's fans are particularly happy with her. And Kelly Osborne is not happy at all. Basically called Becky a cunt and all that other shit. So, I get it, but, Becky, you need to apologize. I'm just saying. So, I'm going to go with Becky to retain, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we got a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. This is going to be... JR, get in here, JR. This is going to be a good old-fashioned JR slobber knocker. Back on a slobber knocker. Basically, Sheamus, Fala, and Alexander Rusev. Rusev smash, not a pussy. Yeah. This is their third match. This is going to be barbaric. A good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which is basically a no DQ match. Anything goes. I don't know if Falls Count anywhere. But it's going to be a fight between two guys who pretty much know each other from their days in, what was that group called? Shit. It was shit, yeah. The time in, the League of Nations. Almost got that wrong. The first match was great. Rusev won that, then Sheamus won the second one. Now, we're in the rubber match, the third, maybe possible final match between these guys, but we're doing it hardcore in France. It could go either way. I'm going to go with Sheamus to pick up the victory, because I don't think he's ever lost this type of match. He had one with Pete fucking Dunne, and I know he won that. He's had a couple other ones, I think. I can't recall them, but I don't think there's no way that Rusev would beat Sheamus in his own match. So I'm going to go with Sheamus to pick up the victory and a slobber knocker of a match. And we get that. That's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, put up your wands. It's time to acknowledge him, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He's back on pay-per-view, since he was at SummerSlam with Jey Uso, and they beat Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Now, Roman is looking to dismantle Seth Rollins and the Vision. Well, he gets to face one of those members, and that's Bronson Reed, the man, the tribal thief, if you will, with the Shufala. So he'll be out with the Walrus, the Oracle. My name is Paul Heyman. And we saw this past Monday where Roman basically ripped Bronson Reed a new one, saying, "Oh, if you're Samoan, your ass belongs to me. Now I'm going to kick your ass before I kick his ass." So, we got that. And then we saw it backstage. Roman beat up Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Eli Drake helped out a little bit after Roman got, kicked out of the arena by security. So we got that. Should be a good match. I can't go against my tribal chief. So Roman will beat Bronson Reed. Hopefully get his shoes back. But I do see maybe Braun Breaker getting involved in this match. Maybe Jimmy or Jey Uso. Somebody's gonna save Roman. I don't know who, but we'll see what happens with that. But Roman ain't losing this match. If he does, there's gonna be a riot in Paris. And you thought the terrorist riots were bad. We got that. And we move on. We move on with that. Alright, so Roman will win. Alright, then we get to the fatal four-way match for the Raw World title. We got he's a visionary, he's a revolutionary, he's Seth freaking Rollins! Alright, Seth freaking Rollins with Paul Heyman at ringside. He will defend the title against Punky Brewster himself, CM Punk, Jey Uso, the Yeet Man, and Eli Drake. That's not an insult. That's a fact of life. Alright, this should be a pretty fun match. You know, Punk, Jay, and Eli all want a piece of Seth Rollins' ass. They want the belt. And Seth just gets out of Dodge somehow with Braun Breaker, with Bronson Reed's help. There is a rumor going around there being another member of the Vision today. I doubt that, but I don't know who, but we'll see. But I know some people are picking Jey Uso to get back the belt for the second time, possibly. But I'm gonna go with Seth freaking Rollins to retain. I think there's gonna be a showdown with him and Roman, probably by the time we hit Saturday night's main event by December, or by the Royal Rumble. I think Roman might get that belt back, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So, Seth freaking Rollins will retain the title over Punky Brewster, CM Punk, Jey Uso, the Yeet Man, and Eli Drake. And I think Eli might take the pin. Because it'll make no sense. It does make sense if Punk takes the pin. Because then you can do Seth Rollins Punk, go back to that as we go to WrestlePalooza. And then, or maybe we go to, at Crown Jewel, we have Punk, Rollins, 2, 3, Electric Tree, I don't know what it is. But let's see what happens with that, and we move on. Alright, so, yeah, Seth Rollins will win the match. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, then we get to what should be the main event. John Cena in his final pay-per-view overseas. Well, actually, the next to last pay-per-view overseas, because he will be at Crown Jewel, which is technically his last match technically his last match, but his last match is in December at Saturday Night's Main Event in Boston. So, John Cena will take on that fake-as-fuck Puerto Rican that got buried 2 weeks in a row, and that's Logan Small, or Logan Paul. Should be a good match. You know, Cena basically, telling Logan, you asked for this match, dickhead, or shithead. And then basically, giving him some knowledge and some, a history lesson. And basically telling Logan, you're not going to use the WWE for your own gain. And Logan saying, I'm the future of WWE, I'm going to put you to pasture, blah, blah, blah. But I can't see Cena losing this match. I cannot. Unless there's some chicanery. But I doubt that. So, we'll see what happens with that. But I'm going to go with John Cena to pick up the victory. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so to recap my predictions, ladies and gentlemen, I got Roman, my Tribal Chief Roman Reigns to beat Bronson Reed. Maybe get his shoes back. I got Cena beating Logan Paul in a pretty decent match. Sheamus destroys Rusev in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. I got the man, Becky Lynch, to retain her Intercontinental title over Nikki Bella. The Wyatt Six, Gacy, and Dexter Lumis to retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles over Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. And for the World title, Seth freaking Rollins to retain over CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Eli Drake. And that's it. That's my predictions for Clash in Paris. Should be a fun show. And about to start in a little bit. So I am out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully your predictions come true, and they're good, and you get a perfect score, maybe. Or then again, you have a horrible predictions record after today. But we got that. And don't forget, Raw tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you have a VPN. If not, you watch it at 8. So we got that. So should be a good day. with that, Mets are down 1-0. What else is new? So hopefully they can come back and win this game, and hopefully the Phillies lose today, and the Reds lose, and we'll see what happens with all that. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Have fun watching Clash in Paris. Should be a great show. And until next time, my friends, episode 82 is closed. And we'll have episode 83 probably later this week, Tuesday, with your NFL preview. And then we'll get to episode 84, which will be the Worlds Collide prediction show. And that's that. That's a good stuff. We might hit 100 before the end of the year on this channel, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, au revoir! Peace!